Today, we remember the stars whose lives began and ended on the very same day, a rare and bittersweet twist of fate that turned their birthdays into final goodbyes. Some were celebrating, surrounded by love and laughter, while others faced their last moments quietly, but all left behind stories that remind us how life's circle can close in the most unexpected ways. This video honors their memories, their journeys, and the legacies they left behind. Ingrid Bergman, the beloved Swedish actress whose beauty and honesty touched millions, was born on August 29, 1915, and passed away on August 29, 1982, leaving this world on her 67th birthday. That rare coincidence made her death even more emotional, as if life had written her story to begin and end on the same day. Ingrid had been quietly fighting breast cancer for several years, and though the illness grew stronger, she never let it take away her spirit. She spent her last months in London, surrounded by family and close friends, and even then, she continued to work. Her final role as Golda Meir in A Woman Called Golda showed her strength and dedication. She filmed many scenes while in pain, yet never let anyone see her struggle. On the night of her birthday, she gently drifted into her final sleep, leaving behind a silence that felt heavier than words. Born in Stockholm, Sweden, Ingrid faced heartbreak early, losing her mother at just 2 years old and her father a few years later. But from that sadness, she carried a quiet emotional power that audiences would one day see in every expression she gave on screen. Her career began in Swedish cinema before Hollywood discovered her brilliance with Intermezzo, a love story in 1939. Then came the film that changed everything, Casablanca. As Ilse Lund, opposite Humphrey Bogart, Ingrid embodied love, longing, and sacrifice like no actress before her. The way her eyes told stories made her unforgettable. She followed it with masterful performances in Gaslight, which won her first Oscar, and The Bells of St. Mary's, where she played a kind and soulful nun. Her role as Joan of Arc showed her spiritual depth, while Hitchcock's Notorious revealed her ability to balance fragility and courage with haunting beauty. Even when her personal life became the center of scandal, after her love affair with Italian director Roberto Rossellini, Ingrid stood strong, never hiding from the truth. She later returned to Hollywood with Anastasia, earning another Oscar and reclaiming her place among the greats. Her final years were marked by quiet wisdom and peace. Betty Friedan, the influential American writer, activist, and one of the strongest voices for women's rights, was born on February 4, 1921, and passed away on February 4, 2006, on her 85th birthday. The same date that once marked her beginning also became the day her remarkable journey came to an end. Her passing from congestive heart failure felt almost symbolic, as if life itself had completed a perfect circle for a woman who spent her entire existence fighting for balance, fairness, and equality. It's rare and deeply emotional when someone leaves the world on the very day they entered it, and for Betty, it felt like history had quietly closed one of its most powerful chapters. Born in Peoria, Illinois, Betty showed signs of brilliance early on. She was the daughter of Jewish immigrants who taught her resilience and self-respect. From a young age, she loved reading, questioning, and standing up for what she believed was right. She started her career as a journalist, writing about labor and social issues, but it was her 1963 book, The Feminine Mystique, that changed everything. That single book became the voice of millions of women who felt trapped by the quiet despair of domestic life. Betty called it the problem that has no name, and by naming it, she set off a revolution. The book sold millions and opened the doors to the second wave of feminism in America. Her passion didn't stop there. In 1966, she co-founded the National Organization for Women and became its first president, leading marches, debates, and movements that would forever change how women saw themselves. She organized the famous 1970 Women's Strike for Equality, demanding real freedom for women in work, family, and society. Even when people disagreed with her, she never lost her courage. She spoke her truth, loudly and fearlessly. Through her later books like The Second Stage and The Fountain of Age, she kept inspiring people to think deeper about equality and aging with dignity. John Banner, the beloved Austrian-American actor who made the world smile through his unforgettable role as Sergeant Schultz in Hogan's Heroes, lived a life filled with both laughter and pain, and in one of life's most haunting coincidences, he died on the very same date he was born. Born on January 28, 1910, in Stanislaw, Austria-Hungary, now Ivano-Frankivsk, Ukraine, and passing away on January 28, 1973. John Banner's story feels like a full circle, a man who entered and left this world on the same winter day, leaving behind memories that still warm hearts. His death at the age of 63 was sudden and tragic. He suffered a burst abdominal aortic aneurysm while visiting friends in Vienna, the city he once fled to escape the horrors of war. It's deeply touching that he returned to his homeland, not in fear this time, but in peace. Yet fate had chosen that very day, his birthday, to call him home. Born into a Jewish family, Banner's early life was shadowed by the rise of Nazi Germany. He once dreamed of becoming a lawyer, studying at the University of Vienna, but his heart belonged to the stage. When Hitler annexed Austria in 1938, Banner, who was performing in Switzerland, realized he could never return home safely. He fled to America, leaving behind loved ones he would never see again, many of whom perished in Nazi concentration camps. Despite that heartbreak, he found the courage to start over in a land where he didn't even know the language. He learned English phonetically, performing on Broadway before joining the U.S. Army Air Forces during World War II. The same man who later portrayed a bumbling German guard on television had once served as a real-life sergeant in the American military. A quiet irony that showed the depth of his character and resilience. But it was in the mid-1960s that John Banner found the role that made him immortal, Sergeant Hans Schultz in Hogan's Heroes. His innocent face, his soft heart, and that iconic line, "I know nothing, nothing," turned him into one of television's most beloved figures. Even though the show was set in a World War II prisoner camp, Banner made Schultz a symbol of goodness and humor in dark times. He once said, "Schultz is not a Nazi. I see him as the representative of some kind of goodness in every generation." That's exactly how people remember him, not as a man trapped in the darkness of war, but as someone who used laughter to bring light where it was needed most. After Hogan's Heroes, Banner worked in the Chicago Teddy Bears and appeared in The Partridge Family before retiring with his wife Christine in France.